Woo! Yes, yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 3-2, 3-2. 3-2. 3-2 win, a big one. A very, very, very big win. A great win at the end of it. We needed it. It certainly didn't make it easy. This certainly didn't make it easy. The ending of that game was absolutely crazy for me. Honestly, what a nuts ending. Never make it too easy, never make it too clean, but going and getting that final goal so important to just everything. Going and getting 3-2, but conceding a couple of goals, some of the things we've seen there. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. That happens. It's going to keep happening, unfortunately. There's a few things we've got to sort out at the moment, but it was really, really good. Really, really good. Really great to get the win. We needed it. 3 in a row, up into top 4. Goals from Casemiro, Cunha, Sesko. Fantastic. It's so funny. It's so funny. Bruno was there was a lot of interesting performances today because there'll be another time as we get further on and later on into the stream, we'll dissect things a little further because I got some concerns. I've got some concerns, but what we can do with the ball sometimes is just unreal. That was the most Bruno of Bruno games, in my opinion, as well, for sure. What we can do with the ball is just unbelievable. What we can do without the ball needs a lot of work. Needs a lot of work. It really does, because there's things we do that are just very, very strange sometimes. Very, very strange sometimes. And I don't know totally how to put it down to it, but whatever. We got the win, and that's what matters. And for the rest of this season, that's all that's going to matter. I mean, the reality is that we know what we need in order to we know what we need in order to be better, right? We all know it. It's like we've all been here long enough. We've all watched this team long enough. We know what our problems are. We know what the deficiencies in the squad are. You know, focusing on the positives, what we can do at the end, what we can do with the ball, what we can do when going forward, what we can do in the attack is hard for anyone to replicate. You know, we have one of the best teams in one of the best attacks in the league, right? Maybe the best attack in the league. Maybe. Genuinely, we might have the best attack in the league. But there's other issues. There's other issues, you know. There's other issues we gotta resolve. But for now, we'll take the win. Sick all weekend, got no sleep last night, but everything's all right now. P.S. Fuck these annoying little teams. Also, by the way, I want to hear from Marco Silva today again, because it's fun. Here's the really, really funny part, little Marco. Here's the little funny part, little Marco. Tactically, he did actually kind of do us over a little bit. He did us over a little bit. Okay, he did. But who cares? Who cares? You fucking lost, man. You didn't win last time. You lost this time. Fuck you, Marco Silva. You know, tactically, he did get it right for Fulham, to be fair. You got it. It is kind of funny because even more so than the last game, he got it right, but they still lost. So go and brag about your tactical masterclass now. Love Casemiro. He's, oh my God, fucking built to thick and man-made. You could tell he's sculpted because you can see it through the kit. Making me read this out is diabolical today. His fucking vice grip thighs, suffocating thighs, rock hard thighs. Wow. Yeah, I did call him little Marco. It's just thank you for making me read that today. Jesus Christ. I don't know if you were expecting TTS to read that out, but in the post-match lives, I got to read it out. So thanks for that. Appreciate it. um, but yeah, look, oh man, you've killed me. You've killed me with that one, man. Um, and yes, I will read pretty much all of them out. But look, we got the win. That's the important thing. Stringing these wins together, stringing these games together, the right players getting their chances. Cunha getting a goal. Cunha also got the let's look at the numbers real quick. Let me just add this. Let's look at some of these numbers real quick. You know, statistically, it was a funky game. We actually lost the XG battle and we had 42% possession again. You know what I mean? We had 42% possession again. So it wasn't, I thought it might be similar in that respect because Fulham aren't like a counter-attacking side. So it was like an interesting game in that respect. Lower possession, 3-2 on big chances, 14-13 on shots. They obviously got the penalty. I'm still dubious about that penalty. I'm still dubious on that penalty, to be honest. I still don't know. When you look at the penalty that Mbeumo didn't get in the first half, I don't think it's a penalty from Casemiro. I really don't. I'm looking at it and I'm going, it's just not a pen to me. The shot's off. I think he gets a touch on the ball as well, and then kind of hits him. How is it not a pen for Mbeumo when the player goes through him and takes him out, but that's a pen? I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't think that's a penalty. Not for me. So, I don't know about that one. I know it was late, but I think he gets the ball as well. Positionally, we were struggling a little bit. It was a it was almost like a 4-5-1 today. I don't really know what you'd want to call it. But Cunha obviously tucking in. Here's an interesting one. If you look at it at halftime, Maguire's average position was higher than Casemiro's, which is an interesting wrinkle that will break down later on when I do the tactics review. You'll see what I'm talking about, because it was a little bit odd. It was very, very odd. But look, going player by player on this, Cunha, I don't think Cunha was awful, but he wasn't great. Still, he got an absolute banger of a goal, and he also got the foul for the pullback that ended up getting us the first goal. So, you know, Mbeumo worked very hard, didn't get a lot of chances today, had that one ball through from, who was it? Dallo, I think it was. Dallo. Ahmad worked his absolute ass off. Those wingback shifts coming in clutch, because the amount of defensive work this guy does is insane. I mean, look at this. Look at this map defensively. Bruno was Bruno. I don't know what to say about Bruno, you know? Let me read this. I can let all the on-pitch issues slide if we're getting results. Given the squad situation is never going to be perfect, so 3 points in 3 points. And I agree with that. There's issues, but for the rest of the season, we just need points. We just need points. It was a very Bruno game. You know, he gets the great assist on the cross to Casemiro. The turn at the end was insane. The dummy and turn from him in the 95th minute, unbelievable, worthy of insane amounts of praise, dude, because it was ridiculous. It was so good. It was so good. That dummy and turn was everything. He's on 12 assists this season. I made a claim at the start of the season. One of my big bets was that Bruno would not hit 10 goals, but we would score 60. And that bet is looking really, really good right now. Because it was a two-parter, because I was like, I want to see us score a lot of goals without Bruno getting the goals. But 12 assists, man, he could get the United record's 15. I think he's going to break the United record this season. But it was a weird game from him. Casemiro. How do we talk about Casemiro? I'll tell you what's really funny to me, right? Like, here's the thing with Casemiro, okay? Here's the thing with Casemiro. Casemiro, what he's doing with the ball these days, is really, really impressive. Really, really impressive. What Casemiro's doing with the ball is just insane. Like, obviously, we know him on set pieces, the goal, the header, all of that. Amazing. The pass to Cunha, some of the switches he was hitting, some of the long passes as well, things like that were just incredible, right? I want to discuss this with nuance. His passing was better. It was more controlled, but I want to discuss this with nuance and not have people take this the wrong way, because it was such a good on-ball performance from Casemiro. Here's what was really funny. When Casemiro was on, we were trying to press, and it was going terribly for about 60 minutes. Every time we tried to press, they would drop Smith Rowe around to the side. Casemiro would try to follow him, and they'd play in behind him, and then we were getting run through the middle. Every time we settled into our block, we were really good. Really good. But every time we tried to press, it was terrible. So with Casemiro, it's a matter of what sucks with Casemiro is if he's probably doing his best work with the ball that I've seen from him. Off the ball, we need someone, but the thing is to be as good as we can be, to be a title-winning team, to be a team that can compete with the very best in the world, to compete with the team that can be the very best in all football, we need what he's offering with the ball, but also without the ball. We need more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, people aren't going to like this comparison because blah, blah, blah. But Declan Rice is the example I've used. Rodri, when he was at his peak, like when he won Ballon d'Or and all that, when you look at them, amazing with the ball and without it. Doing a lot of amazing stuff with the ball, scoring goals, great passing, etc., but also without it. That's kind of the level we need. That's why we need Elliot Anderson. Somebody who is so good with the ball and without. That's why we need Elliot Anderson. It's a must. That's the guy. We're gonna lose something. We're gonna lose something otherwise. We need, if you go for somebody, but the irony here is, I think Rice is amazing with the ball in a different way. He is amazing with the ball. I genuinely think so. He's one of the best dribblers around, one of the best carriers. He's scoring set piece curlers in Champions Leagues, things like that. Rice is really good. Doesn't get enough credit somehow still for some reason, but he's Arsenal's best player. Still, one of the things I want to say about it that was very funny though is that we were pressing a lot when Casemiro was on, and then when we switched to Ugarte, we dropped off and started defending deep. And the hilarious thing about Ugarte's time at United is this has been a common theme. Ugarte's not a good, like, it's always backwards. It's funny because he's not been good enough to start games, clearly, right? He's often coming on in situations where we're defending deep. Ugarte is not that guy. Like, I'm trying to think this through, but like we like Ugarte is Ugarte is a player who should be up the pitch. He's a player who should be up the pitch, not defending deep in his own box. Casemiro is a player who's good at defending in his own box, not pressing up the pitch defensively. And that's why we just need new midfielders. We just don't have it. We just don't have the balance. We just don't have it right. That's all. We just have to get more midfielders, right? Because I think Ugarte is a player. He needs to play at a club where he's starting and playing up the pitch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's where, so it's just not a good fit because as a backup, he's often coming on to defend leads and he's not good. It's just not what he's good at. So we just need to replace. We just need to move on. You know, I don't particularly think the goal was as much his fault as people are making it out to be. I'll show it on the replay. He definitely gets over blamed because he steps over to cover number 30 and gets passed by and then isn't quick enough to close it down, but he steps over to the other player. There's no real support from other players around him, but it's neither here nor there. Either way, we've got we just either way, man. I don't know. Either way, we need a new group of midfielders. We all know it. We need to rebuild this midfield at the end of the day. You know, that's it. We need to rebuild this midfield. There's nothing else we can say about it. But the transfers, let's go back to some of the players here and talk through them. I thought Kobe was really good today. You're right about this, by the way, but we'll talk about that another time because of no nuance with Kobe discussions. But Kobe was, for me, very good today. Kobe was, for me, very, very good today. What he was doing with the ball, there's a couple passes I want to point out specifically that he has shown that I didn't see in his locker before. And it started in the 3rd minute. He hits the big switch, right? That I call it, the big switch. Hits it out wide. There was a couple that he missed, but he hit some really good switches today that I didn't think that he had in his locker. If he can keep that going, then that's impressive. There was a couple, like you see those red ones here. There was a couple into the box that were just overhit, these forward ones through the lines. But a lot of the wide switches and things were really, really, really good. Press resistance, pass and move with the ball, very good. Worked hard defensively, better on the duels today than Arsenal. 6 out of 7 won. But again, we just don't have the pace in the midfield for the balance between him and Casemiro that they get run by a lot. So they end up doing a lot of work deeper. Let me pull these up real quick. Sesko scoring a striker's goal. Yeah, we'll get to that. It was a very good goal. I thought he screwed it up at first, but he turned it into a great one. Will we be 3rd after the next 2? Yes. We're catching Aston Villa. Today shows we need a winger with Dorgu out. Yes, that was a bit of a problem too. It was a weird performance today. I'm not going to lie. I actually kind of agree with this, but I think Kobe was very good. I don't expect Kobe to be the guy catching up to everybody, running around them and all of that. But when you have neither who can do it, it does present some problems. And that's whatever. Shaw, I thought, was actually good today. He's not getting the attacking impact that he had, but he was important defensively. Lissandra was very good. Nothing crazy, nothing major, but just good. I thought Maguire was probably our best player through about 50 minutes, maybe up to the second goal. I think that Maguire was our best player. Look at the duels. 6 out of 7 aerial duels. 5 out of 6 ground duels. 10 contributions, 4 clearances. The penalty, he had one bad moment before the penalty where the ball cross came in, he misjudged it, but then he gets back and blocks it. The penalty, I don't know. I got to watch it a few more times. I still don't know. He was really, 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 really important though. That's the thing. Like the amount of duels he wins in the box is unbelievable. We would be conceding a lot more goals without Harry Maguire. Despite the penalty, we'd be conceding a lot of goals without Harry Maguire. Dallo, guys, listen. Diogo Dallo was very good today. Diogo Dallo was really good today. He was really good. Like, very, very good today. He was good again. He was good against Arsenal. He was good against City. Diogo Dallo doing his usual thing where a new manager comes in and he just kicks on and becomes incredible, and then we'll see later. But Diogo Dallo was very, very good today. He was. I'm sorry. He was. You gotta give credit when credit is due. Diogo Dallo was very good today. He was good. He was good. He was good. You know, take it. And then lastly, of the starters, Senna Lamens, man. This guy is a fucking keeper. Senna Lamens is really, really good. That what it might have been one of his best games. It's so funny when you look at Lamens, when we concede 2 goals and he's still really good. He's really, really, really good today. He was so good today. He made a couple unbelievable saves, some of the punches on the corners and things late on. The penalty from Jimenez was 1, illegal. He definitely stopped and stepped backwards on his run up 2 times. They never call it. Nothing he could do about that penalty. The pen was roof of the net. He got the right thing. If it hadn't been roof of the net, he would have saved it. Lamens was really fucking good today. We would be, I'm telling you right now, if we'd had Lamens to start the season, we'd be in 2nd or 3rd place right now. We'd be up there with City and Villa right now if we had Lamens to start. If we hadn't signed Lamens, we'd be in the bottom half. 100%, man. You imagine all these games, the things we're dealing with, if we had Onana or Bayindir in net, unbelievable how bad it would have been. Senna Lamens definitely saved our season. Definitely saved our season because we dropped quite a few points in those first week and lost to Grimsby and stuff. You know, Senna Lamens, take a bow, man. What a keeper. What a keeper he is. I'm saying those first 2 games and Grimsby and Brentford and City, you know, we dropped a lot of points to start the season before Lamens came in. And look, let's look at the table. Like it sounds like a crazy thing to say, but look at the table, my dudes. We're only 5 points off. We're only 5 points off. I think we would have beaten Fulham and at least won another game. We have 2 defeats since Lamens came in. 2 defeats. 2 losses. You know, like only mistake we made this summer was not signing him earlier. But it's the confidence, it's the pressure, it's dealing with everything. That's the difference. Let's look at the subs real quick. Yoro late on, Mazraoui late on, Ugarte we spoke about. Sesko nearly finishes it right off the bat with the header, comes off the post. But that goal, to keep going and get that goal at the end, so good. So good. Striker's goal. He's been so unlucky hitting the post, missing some chances with his head. But that goal he gets at the end, thank God for that, man. That was impressive. That was really, really good shit. And there you go. Well done by Benjamin Sesko, keeping his head up, keep working, good with both feet, all of that. Great stuff. So up to 4th, 3 wins on the bounce. Only 2 teams have 3 wins out of 3, us and Chelsea, both with changing managers. Funny how that works sometimes. Villa, I said it in the pre-match. Villa are falling. Villa are fading. We're going to catch those fuckers, and we are. We're going to catch those fuckers. We're catching them. I think that we're going to end up, Villa and Liverpool and are going to be the teams fighting for 5th. And us and Chelsea are going to end up 3rd and 4th by the end of the season. I'm serious. Like, it's going to be crazy, but that's how I feel. Villa are fading. Listen, those underlying stats, I tell you every time, man. I tell you every time, they always catch up to you. They always catch up to you. Villa haven't been that good. The stats have been telling us that they're not that good for some time. And the stats have been telling us that we're the 3rd best team in the league. And it's coming. It is coming. Ignore the numbers at your peril. Aston Villa is fading and we're coming for 3rd place. And that's where we deserve to be. It's happening. Book it. We will catch Aston Villa. We will catch those fuckers. We will catch those fuckers. Lost 2 league matches in 4 months. Side is good. Indeed it is. Villa have Pool and City back-to-back as the last 2 games. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We got the City game out of the way. We've got Tottenham at home. And we have West Ham next. Again, they're like must win games. like today, teams that we should absolutely be smashing. I mean, Tottenham are in terrible form. They haven't had a win in 5-6 games, maybe. West Ham are still West Ham. Still West Ham. Huge. 14 games left. 14 games. Next two games are huge. But listen, here's the part that's really that makes me really happy too. Okay. When you look at the table, we finally did it. Look, 7 points clear of 8th. We're out of the shit zone. Brentford doing an impressive job. We're 5 points clear of 7th. We're finally separating ourselves from the mid-table pack. Finally. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy, but we finally done it. West Ham have improved with their January signings. Who? Didn't Todibo just get suspended as well for punching someone or choking someone yesterday? But yeah, man. Oh, what a game. I'm just so happy that we pulled the win out of that. It wouldn't have felt like a draw. Hey, I already did this, KF. I'll read it out again. James Earl Rhodes III. Why'd you add an H in there? You naughty. I know who you are. Why'd you add an H? James Earl Rhodes III. Wish to apologize without any excuses of context or claims of nounce. To Kabi Menu, you can run. I am Kabi FC. Well done there. Good job. Good job. Good job. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. But look, let's step back a second and now assess some of the issues. I've got this cool thing. It's called a desk board buddy. And I make like a bunch of notes on it and stuff. I've got all these notes of times that I wanted to relook at of specific problems. Mostly I look at the negatives. I think the word he was trying to say there was nuance. Mostly it looks at the negatives. I'll be real, because I've got the goals too, but more often than not, I'm looking at what's not working. Where are the problems that we have? And I've got like 25 moments here. Okay. Because the reality here when we look at this is that I'm very glad we got the win. I think we deserved the win. I think that we had the better chances of the game. I think that we created the best chances of the game. I think that we have a better team than Fulham. However, it wasn't a good game. It wasn't a good game. And when I say it wasn't a good game, I just mean there was a lot of warning signs before we conceded in kind of random moments, but it wasn't random that we were conceding, if you get me. They were playing through us for a lot of that game. Most of the game, they were able to play through us quite easily, progress the ball up the pitch, and cause us problems. For most of the game, we weren't able to press the way we wanted to press. For most of the game, it was a little bit like not so good, especially between the goals, between the goal 1 and 2. And I was more worried than I was against City and Arsenal in this game. And the reason's simple. And I spoke about it this week, and I said, you got to just pay attention to it, especially in that midfield, that when we start to press to the keeper, the gaps are going to show. As soon as we press the keeper, the gaps will show, and they did. And that's okay. That's fine. It is what it is, right? It happens. We have to accept that, because those are the limitations of this team that we have, right? We don't have the bodies, the personnel to be a consistently high pressing side. We just don't. We don't have the bodies to do it. When we build play up, sustain pressure in their half, and our center backs are squeezed really high, then we can press. That's how we got the second goal, right? We went on a counter, Ahmad running through, we turned it around, we recycled, we kept the ball. We allowed our center backs to get up the pitch into the opposition half. So we made the pitch really small in their half. Then we won the ball back over and over, won the ball back over and over, sustained pressure and got a goal. That's the way we need to be doing it for the rest of the season during these games. Don't we need to stop throwing the ball away too quickly. Like, here's my big things to learn for the rest of the season. Number 1, slow the counters down sometimes. Don't give the ball away so easily. And it's mostly because your out of possession is often dictated by in possession. When you give the ball away, when your front line is far forward, then the gaps are already there. That's a concern. Second is stop pressing the keeper from goal kicks. Just step back a little bit, right? Get into the mid block, settle in. Don't press the keeper so hard, and just keep it tight, right? And then the third thing, I don't know if I had a third thing. The third thing is when we have the ball in their half, then start pressing. Then push the lines up, then win the ball back and sustain that pressure. That's what we're missing. So it was a good win, but certainly you can see some of the issues that are showing. God, Spurs are just so shit, man. Jesus, they're just shit. They're just so bad, aren't they? They're just so bad. But yeah, there's issues. There are issues to work on, but until we can get more players, because we need a rebuild in the midfield, right? The donut DNA, right? You got to worry about that a little. Like, we need a major midfield overhaul. Exactly, Aaron. We just do, right? This is the issue. Until we can fix the players, which we can't for now, the only thing we can do is make some adjustments in game. Anderson and Baleba will fix it. Yes, they really will. They will help a lot. But until then, we have to make some adjustments. We got to keep the ball a little bit better against these smaller teams. Don't rush the attack so much. Don't press the keeper. Counter press once we're in their half, and that'll help. You know, it's just adjustments. It's just adjustments. I'm trying to find. It's just little things we got to do, but I'm just happy we got the win, and it's something to be said for getting the win. Like, let's not downplay that. Hold on, let me just. Tottenham versus Man City. It's not to downplay the win or anything. It's just because it's important to be able to pull it through. You know what I mean? Being able to actually like make the win happen, get results is important. It's very, very important. And big credit to the team, to Carrick and all that. But when you look at this game, look at how good our forwards are. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at how good Cunha, Mbumo, Bruno, Sesko, these guys are. Ahmad. They'll get goals. They will get goals, right? They have the talent and the ability to just score. You want to watch the game in my reflection? No, I don't want to get copywritten. They have the ability to just get goals out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Look at Cunha's one. It just comes in and just smashes it, right? From up close. We have the players to score goals and to win games. Keep us tight defensively. Don't worry about it. I don't care if we have 45% possession. I don't care. For the rest of the season, I don't give a shit. It means nothing to me. The job right now is different than the job when Ruben Amorim was here, which is that we wanted to see growth and improvement and tactics and all of that. I think the truth is, not to revise Amorim's time, but the truth is, we don't have a team that can be a high possession team and win games at the same time. We just don't. We can't do it. Right? Let's just agree. We do not have a team. We lay a marker down now and say, we do not have a team that can be high possession and win games yet. We just don't. What we do have are a particular set of skills that make us a nightmare for teams who want to defend deep, because our scorers can just bang it out of nowhere, and they will week in and week out. For Cunha, we knew the goals would come. Well, anybody with any sense knew the goals would come. Even when he's not playing well, the goals will come. And Bumo can score out of nothing. Ahmad can score. Sesko can score. The midfielders, the set pieces can score. You know, so we just have to just leave it be and say, this is what we are. This is what we are until we can get more players. And it's not like in the end we have to be high possession, Lexi, right? Like, I don't ever want to play like City and Arsenal. But I think that when we do have more possession, when we do want to be a team that has more of the ball, our method of possession will be pressing, more like Liverpool. I always use the Liverpool example, Klopp specifically. It is what it is. But Klopp's Liverpool specifically, their method of possession was press, right? That's how they retained possession. Press, 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 press. Keep the ball, counter press, stay high, stay pressure, beat teams into submission and win games that way. That's the way we want to have. When we have more possession, it'll be that way. We can't do it yet. We don't have the team for it. We just don't have the players to do that type of stuff in this moment. That's where we could be more aggressive. But the best thing is that correct. We do need to transition to a higher possession team later on. We certainly do, but we can't, right? And when you look at Amarim's time here, every time we tried to have more of the ball, we would lose or draw or struggle every single time. It's just what it was. We're still a better team with less of the ball, and it's because we can't press. And until we fix that, that's going to be the case. But for the rest of the season, it's okay. It's just a weakness. It's a weakness in the personnel. It's a weakness in the personnel that we have. If I'm a team playing against us, and hopefully some of the managers don't figure this out over the next few weeks. If I'm a team over the next few weeks playing against us, I'm going to bait United's press, pass around the back, force us to come out, and then pray through the lines, because it's that easy to beat us. It's that easy to play through us. Sounds like we need to rebuild our manager to coach that. No, we just need midfielders, man. We just need midfielders who can run for 90 minutes and sprint. And it's about the explosiveness and the athleticism too, not just distance covered, And that's not a shot at Cobby. I'm talking about the skill set in particular that we need to. The reason we have low possession isn't what we do with the ball. It's what we do without it. It's our inability to get the ball back. When we press, look, how do you get the ball back? How do you win possession? Because there's two different ways, of having possession, right? Two different ways of having possession. There's you can pass it around constantly and just dig the game away and spend 40 minutes just passing and back and forth. Or you can press to win the ball back. But if you're not going to be a super passive, sideways teamed, then you have to press if you want possession. When we played the 3-4-3, we could press a little bit better because you have three center backs. So when the mids go press, Luke Shaw was always in the midfield, right? Stepping up and pressing and staying up really, really high, right? We saw that about the center backs jumping because we had three of them. Obviously, there's other downsides, but that was one of the advantages. switching back to like a 4-4-2, you don't have that extra player in the middle like you had when you have three center backs to jump into the midfield for the press. So it's harder. So like at one moment in the second half, Shaw did, and he came all the way from the left side, all the way over to support us, to follow a man. But then when they played through it, our right side, there had like four players in empty space. I mean, we kind of got lucky. They took a poor touch. So it's just an interesting dilemma that we have moving forward, how we solve this. But this is the puzzle for summer. But for the rest of the season, we've just got to be smart. Carrick's just got to be smart. We've got to make sure we don't play into our weaknesses, but play into our strengths. That's the most important thing. And if we can do that, we be all right. We be all right. Okay. If we can do that. That's what we've got to do is just cut our weaknesses a little bit more. I was okay with it against City and Arsenal that we didn't press. I'm okay with it for the rest of the season because we just don't have the team for it. But that's what we got to do. I mean, that's just it. That's the puzzle for summer. That's what they still have to fix in this team. 2 midfielders and a winger. 2 midfielders and a winger. That's what we need. Agreed? 2 midfielders and a winger. You know, that's what we got to have. And look, if Bruno leaves or Ugarte leaves, then obviously we need more than that, but we need more midfielders. And look, if Bruno is here next season, you know, great in terms of his offensive output, but I do think we might need 2 more athletes in the midfield because the off-ball stuff is still shaky sometimes. It's still a bit shaky. And it's still shaky. And yes, I think a center back would be good too, but it is still shaky. There's no doubt about that. We're still on shaky ground sometimes with the off-ball stuff. Yeah. And I know, look, it seems like we only conceded to a penalty and like a banger, but it happens a lot. And it happens a lot for a reason. And you can't say that our goals weren't that dissimilar. We had an absolute roofer from Cunha and a free kick in a really, really dangerous spot as well. So, you know, the Sesko one was better. That's why we won, but still that was the case. But yeah, at least 2 midfielders, a winger and a center back, but they've got to be big, fast, strong, athletic type players as well. And that's what we'll go for. If we added Anderson and Baleba, that would be great. But Anderson, we've got to have. Anderson has to be the top one because when you look at the with and without the ball, it's got to be Anderson. Baleba, I still think is quite good, but he's not going to offer as much with the ball for sure. Passing, things like that. Anderson has to be the guy. We've got to get Champions League, which I think we will. And we've got to get Anderson because he can do so much with the ball. So much with the ball as well. If we get CL, do we get Anderson? I think we have a good chance. I think we've given ourselves a chance if we get him. You know, we've given ourselves a chance, that's for sure. A good chance, I think. But Anderson is the right guy. Anderson is the right guy. That's the one we need. I can't think of a better player right now. But I would we need 2. We need 2. We just need 2. No, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. The football project will be important. We need 2 midfielders. Turkey being subbed off. Interesting. If Pep leaves, we have a better chance, and he might. How many midfielders do we need for 4 comps? Well, if you think about the 10, even if Bruno leaves, we technically have Mount and Cunha who could play there. I still think we need 5, maybe 4 or 5 deep. Yeah, exactly this, Lexi. Like, he's gonna get offered more money. A lot of people offer more money. You know, there's more money potentially on the table for Cunha and Mbumo at other clubs, but they chose us. You know, that's the reality. They chose us, and that's what we need. We're literally back to it, but it's the midseason. You got to be more positive. Look, you understand that I'm with you. You know, you understand that I'm with you in this respect. Like, I understand your concern here about how are we trying to build for the future, and that was my pro on Amarim, but on what that we were trying to do something, but it's the midseason. I think we've hit our limits in terms of how we can play football. What we're doing is not that different to what we were doing before, just a bit better. Our limitations are the same. I don't think it was gonna change though mid-season. Like I guess what I'm saying here is that with putting Carrick in, I didn't expect us to suddenly not have those limitations we had before. Our limitations are personnel based. Our limitations are they're just what they are. It's personnel. That's our limitations. Carrick can't build a perfect team with this team. And right now he's saying, okay, different job. My job mid-season is come in, take the squad that exists and get the results out of them for the next 15 games. That's the job right now. That's what we're doing. We've got some good foundations, some of the pressing foundations, some of the other things, some of the wide play, some of the forward play. There's some better foundations being built, but I wouldn't worry about the next 14 games. It's not going to erase everything. Once we can upgrade the team in the summer and continue to work on it, I think we'll see growth. For the rest of the season, don't expect us to fix everything. You know, don't expect that those problems are going away. We've hit our limits. We've hit our limits, right? We know what our limits are. We cannot be a top pressing team. So this concern, Phil, I hear you on this about if it comes down to getting one player, and that plan is because there's right. I get that. The thing about it though is this, right? It is concerning, but it's okay. Like, guys, I'm going to give the same defense here to Carrick that I gave to Amarim because I'm not a hypocrite. Okay. I'm going to give you the same defense as I gave to Amarim. We're limited by the players we have in the team. It's concerning, but the players we have in the team are good enough to get us into top 4, top 5. They are. That's become clear. It was maybe a start of the season, I thought so. Mid-season, debatable. Yes, it's concerning. But here's the thing. Teams that are 3rd, 4th, 5th are not perfect. We're not a title-ready team. We're not in the Champions League this season. We're not in any cups. So while there's concerns and there's limitations, just understand they're going to exist through this entire season, no matter what. Nothing will change that. But what we're seeing right now is probably the best we can be for the moment. And at the moment, we have to be pragmatic about the way that we are approaching games. So what we are seeing, is it a little bit pragmatic? Yes, I'm asking for almost more pragmatism because our biggest problem today came from trying to play a bit too much on the front foot, trying to be more aggressive, trying to attack, trying to press too much, you know? So it's okay. Let's just let it be. Look, for those of you who are, like, we were better at certain things under Amarim and all that, fine, maybe you're right. But also just bear in mind, they weren't going to sack Ruben Amarim. We don't have to do the Ruben Amarim thing to death. Carrick's come in. We're winning games. That's all that matters. They weren't going to sack Ruben Amarim. So it's not like they totally disagree with you. They saw progress. They saw things that were improving. But he's gone. He quit on us, and we let him go. He's gone. Carrick is in. It's a bit more pragmatic. It's a bit different. But we're winning. And that's what matters. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So it's limited. I'm not expecting much different because I think it's just the limitations are what they are, and there's nothing we can do about it. Now, to the concern of our plan can't just rest on Anderson, you're right, but also I got to say this. Obviously, we're going to have alternatives, but like, how do I explain this correctly? How do I put this in my own words correctly? How do I put this in words? When you're look, when you're trying to build a title winning team, realize something for a second, okay? Especially moving forward. When you're trying to build a title winning team, the higher up the football ladder you go, the higher up the football ladder you go, the fewer players fit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you want to build a team for 10th, there's thousands of players you could sign. If you want to build a team for Europa League, there's probably 100 players per position you could sign. If you want to build for Champions League, the gap is the numbers get even narrower. If you want to build for title challenging, there might only be one option that's at that level that's available. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have alternatives, but you are going to be getting less from them. You know, I mean, if you, I'm not saying there aren't more than one options, but like then it gets way trickier. That final step is a lot harder than building for an 8th place team or a 6th place team. That step from 4th or 5th into 1st is way harder because you have to get absolute top level players. And yeah, the number of them is fewer, and the number of them that is available is fewer. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say that you don't sign anybody if you couldn't get Nick and Anderson. I'm just saying that you have to think of it like you might have the guy in mind. That's the perfect guy. And your plan A should be go get that perfect guy. You might not have 3 perfect guys. And you might be saying, all right, well, if we can't get him, fine. We're going to get an alternative, but so be it. City, when you look at Rodri, you know, we may not have known he was the guy, but they obviously knew he was the guy. You know, Haaland for striker, they said, we just want the best striker out there and we're going to get him. And I'm just saying we've got to be able to do that. We've got to be able to do that. If you don't go for the best, you end up with signings like Spurs. Exactly right. So it's just what it is. I understand. This is the level though. This is the level we have to think about moving forward and trying to build a top team that's going to compete for titles. Is that, yes, our targets are going to be tight. We got to be good and compete for them. True, that's fair, but then we'll have to do things this current board might not be willing to do, like pay over the odds. Well, take a look at, and I'll talk about Barrios in a second. Take a look at last summer with Mbumo, right? Because I tend to agree with you. Cunha, we got the release clause. I would say we stretched for Mbumo and Sesko. I think we stretched. I think they did show a bit of willingness there. The Mbumo thing waffled around a bit, but you remember Sir Jim trip to Iceland, at the fishing, at the ice streams, going, make it happen, you know? And they did. So they paid over the odds for Mbumo, but not by much. Not by much, but they did. Obviously, there's a level of where you don't go crazy with it, right? They kept good contracts, paid a bit over the price, but we got their commitments, and that's the important part. And I think that underlies all of it, which is a good point. We definitely stretched on Sesko. We definitely overpaid. But the thing is, it's okay, but we did overpay, but it's okay because it got us a striker we feel could be the guy in the future. Fine. The commitment is the most important thing, though. And that's underlies all of this, that they want United. Barrios. And so that's, I think, is kind of an example of an alternative. Probably would cost about the similar amount of money in 100 million to Anderson. Could be an alternative, might be at that level of player, just based on what I've read and seen about him, he might be. So yeah, that might be an example of them looking at alternatives for sure. So there's certainly alternatives, but yeah, the plan A, we'll talk about alternatives if plan A doesn't work out. All right. Then we'll talk about alternatives. All right, let's do some call-ins here and then end it off. I'm going to try to keep things brief. I'm going to do a maximum of 5 call-ins today, maybe less. Sometimes after a win, games like this, it wasn't Arsenal, it wasn't City, not as many people want to come in. I'm going to do a maximum of 5 because I don't have all day to do it. I got to get to some other things and on with my morning, but yeah, let's see if anybody wants to call in today. Sometimes after these wins like this one, we just get far fewer in terms of the call-ins because people are a little happier, but not as big a game as Arsenal and City. So today might be a quiet one. I'm okay with that. If nobody wants to. Sesko is an alternative. Yeah. We don't have to pay $300K a week. Look, guys, I get it on the contracts thing, but I'm just telling you right now, historically speaking, the players that have chosen clubs because of wages alone, I'm not worried about missing on those guys. If our football project is promising, that's the most important thing. That our football project is promising. That we're in Champions League and that on that level we are competitive. We are able to bring people in. That's the most important thing. That that we're competitive from a footballing standpoint. I don't care if we lose people to wages. If we lose people to wages, then it is what it is. And I'm not worried about them in that case. So let's just make sure we have a competitive football team and the rest will sort itself out in terms of the players. All right, OMP, you ready, my friend? You're first up and might be the only one today, but it'll be good to hear from you. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, look, I mean, I have like family and people over, so I actually missed a lot of the live. Just try to jump in for this bit.
That's
So
okay.
I don't know what the general sentiment is of the game, but like, yeah, I think I'm happy we got the win. I think first and foremost, like considering where we've been, like beggars can't be choosers. But it's quite interesting that like, look, man, I saw a lot of that donut midfield situation going on, which kind of like scared me a bit because I was like, my word. But I understand it because I mean, if I think about where a lot of times we're trying to press and contain, like Casemiro found himself out wide quite a bit. And then that recovery is like, it's hard, man. Like you can just see it like on Carby and Casemiro, just recovering, in those spaces is so hard. But in the short, spaces 5 to 10 yards, they were actually quite good in my opinion.
Yes,
So,
for sure.
like, so I think that just shows that we actually do need like a bit of a demon in there, as you put it. Like, so I don't know. I think, look, I think if we can get Anderson and Beleva, that'll just be the dream, right? Like, I would, if I had to choose one, I'd still probably lean more towards Anderson because I think he's more of a complete package. But I think we still need both because in actuality, like if we get into Champions League or look, we're never gonna have another season of like playing 40 games. Like that's just not gonna happen. So it's
we need some
I
depth.
think, we need some guys in there. And I mean, yeah, look, man, I think Anderson will be the big scalp for me. But look, as far as experience, it just shows you like for me, Casemiro and Maguire are probably like the good guy, like the two guys that I look at and I was like, these guys like understood what today's game was. Because you could tell like the other guys, you could tell they were kind of like trying to feel themselves a bit like off the back of the City and Arsenal game, and they kind of wanted to like almost do too much. And this kind of game, you just have to squeeze the life out of it, which is what I think Casemiro and Maguire like understood is like you just don't give them sniffs, you know. And
Yep.
I think we tried to overextend ourselves in some bits and like ended up giving them a bit of a sniff. So I think it wasn't a surprise. Like once Casemiro kind of went off, it was like I get Ugarte can cover ground, and I actually don't have issues with Ugarte, but it's more so like that kind of the thing that Casemiro does is like that organization, just like knowing
Yeah.
like who needs to be where, you
Well, I
know?
was saying it's kind of funny. It's an unfortunate thing with Ugarte because his strength is not defending deep. It's more the legs up the pitch, but he always comes on when we're defending deep, and then it's not. And
Yeah,
Casemiro's much better defending and organizing the defense deep, so it tends to go the wrong way with him, and it just kind of shows we just need players because we don't have the right balance. Like it'd be better to bring Casemiro on late to
yeah,
defend leads than it is
yeah,
the other way around. But we need Casemiro on the ball right now. So yeah, it's
yeah.
an interesting conundrum there.
Yeah, it just shows you like how much needs to be done with this team. Like we literally
Mm-hmm.
just need to go and throw like 200 plus million into the midfield. Like there's just
Yep.
no other way for me.
Yep.
Like I understand that there's other needs. You know, we could probably get another left winger or maybe fill in at center back. But like I think for me, we just need to do what we did with the attack because look at how that just completely flipped our season. I mean, we're looking at
Exactly.
Spurs now, right? Like if you look at Spurs and like us and Spurs was seemingly on the same level last season,
Yep.
and now just with that flip, obviously I think we, despite Amorim and all that kind of stuff, I think he was still doing a better job in general than like Thomas Frank. But like
That's for
look
sure.
at look at the difference, like look at the difference that those attackers have made, man. And look,
Yes, huge.
I know like Sheshko's gotten a bit of slack from people. I know you've said your bits here, and I think for me like he's obviously not finished, but that you can see things in his game. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And I think for me like I was so glad that he got his goal because I think when you're an attacker playing for Man United, you need a Manchester United moment. Today was a
Yes.
Manchester
That
United
was a
moment for
good
sure.
moment. Exactly. Yep. The
That was a
winner at
man like
home, Stretford
yeah.
end. Yeah. 95th minute. It's huge. Huge
That's the
moment.
kind of
Yep.
moment that just makes you like drop your shoulders a bit, like, okay, don't be so tense. Like you
Yep.
belong here, like you deserve, and then everybody will kind of be like, ooh, you know. So I'm glad he got that moment. But I think, yeah, like, the thing about the squad is that you'll get this kind of stuff. I think we're lucky or we're fortunate that like we're able to kind of pull it back, but like these up and down results and performances, like you'll get that because that's what happens when a team is supposed to finish between fourth and sixth. Like it's not always
Yep.
going to just be like, otherwise we'd be a title contending team. If we were just supposed to
Exactly.
like tick the
Exactly.
boxes all the time, we'd be a title
Yep.
contending team. So, I mean, in terms of that, like, yeah, I'm just glad we got the win, man. Like, cause what's his name? Is it Kevin or whatever? Like
Yeah.
when whenever teams do that kind of celebration and the cameras in their face, I'm just like, fucking hell, man. Like
Yeah,
I
especially
just,
when they level it up, you're always like,
yeah, like
you
it's
gotta
like
beat them now. Go get the goal.
yeah, and I
Yep.
really wanted to win against Fulham after that nonsense that they came
Yeah.
out and the way they were talking after the draw in like earlier on in the season. So yeah, man, good. I guess good game like for guys like Cunha to get his goal,
Yep.
Bruno, finding ways to like rack up those assists is crazy, but like
Yep.
it's just Bruno, But yeah, I think when I was watching a video from yesterday, this idea of like moving away from a traditional 10, I think I agree with it as well because I think you just need more well-rounded team because you can tell like as much as like I love Bruno and everything that he brings for us, but it's you can't rely on someone else to give you the same thing. Like it's just, like I feel like Bruno gives us a very Bruno thing. I don't think we can like hope that someone else can just do the exact same kind of thing. You kind of have to hedge your bets on like something a bit more realistic, so to speak.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I don't know. Like there's not it's not much criticism and there's also like not much like over celebration. It's one of those games where you're just like, okay, cool. Like I'm happy we got the 3 points. I understand the deficiencies of this team. let's move on. My weekend's not ruined. Like, you know, so it's
Yeah,
just,
exactly. Exactly.
yeah. So for me, man, yeah. And also, look, man, I just wanted to say, I've been thinking a lot about like kind of all the shit that's been happening just in the football space and world, and like this whole like one-upping and people getting clipped and all this kind of shit. And look, man, you've been doing this for a good enough time to know, obviously, that none of that stuff means anything. But
Of course.
genuinely, there's a lot of people that appreciate what you do. Otherwise, your channel wouldn't be where it's at now. And for me, I think that's all that matters. So I want to express my gratitude to you, because I think if it wasn't for channels like yours, even United View, um, I think a lot of us would just be so down and out, like, you know, because it's like so many people just running these like fake agendas, these fake like woke, I know football, tactical nonsense. And
Mm,
it's like, no, like you literally don't know better than the other person, because you're just at home talking about fantasy tactics and fantasy crap. Because 5, 6 weeks ago, people were calling Dogu crap. And
yeah.
here he is now, people are like crying the fact that he's like out for 10 weeks. It just
Yeah.
shows you how little we actually know, right? So it's like,
Indeed.
yeah,
Indeed.
man, just keep the positivity going, because at the end of the day, like we have 40 games this season. Like that's crap enough as it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, man. Take care. All good.
Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you, buddy.
You too.
All right, Jimmy. How you doing, my friend?
Hello.
What's
Oh,
going
what a game,
on?
mate. What a game. I
Yeah.
mean, I got punched in the face. I got, celebrations. Kevin, what a screamer. I can't deny that was a great goal. Yeah, just all around positive, We know where the issues are each week.
Yep.
That's basically all I can say is take 3 points, run away with it, get top 4, get Anderson, get Belieber.
And that's it, right? Like we know, like you say, we know the issues. Everybody knows them. We've seen enough this season to see it.
Exactly.
We know what we got to fix. We'll fix it just like we fixed the attack last summer, and we'll fix it this summer. We'll fix the next bit and keep it going. But in the meantime, just get in the damn points. That's all that
Just
counts
enjoy
right
the
now.
character vibes and see what happens.
Yeah, just have fun with
That's
it.
the only thing we can do at the minute is we know where the issues is. Like I say, we need transfers. We know what we need. Just go and do it in the summer, get it done, and then see where we're going to go from there.
Exactly. Well, I hope it was fun. How was the atmosphere? Was it good?
Yeah, it was really, really good. It was. I mean, it went quiet after the second one went in, which is expected, but then erupted again, and then
Right.
yeah, as expected. But I think the nerves are still there from the time under Amram. Is if you concede and then you concede again, it's like okay, we're going to crumble here. Whereas
Yeah.
now it's a bit like okay, it won't actually crumble.
Exactly. Well, the comeback was very necessary, getting that kind of moment, because we came back against Arsenal as well, mind you, but of course that was against Arsenal, different type of game, different type of situation. We were ahead, they were ahead, we were ahead. It was a bit crazy. So it's just good to see. It's good to see.
Exactly. It's good. I'd say just take 3 points, run with it, and hopefully get Champions League.
Yeah, that's the idea. If we do that, I think everything's going to be all right.
Exactly.
All right, my friend.
All right. Perfect.
Enjoy the rest of the day. See you, buddy.
You too, babe.
All right, guys. Let's end it there. Was a good one once again. 3 points in the bag, up to 4th. Tottenham next week. Catching Aston Villa. It's happening. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much for all the everything. And I will see you all later. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.